If my brothers, I said, alhamdulillah, if my brothers didn't come around the corner today, we won't be here talking today.
Your actual brothers, or
My brother, my real brother, and the gang, their own gang.
they had a gang at the time?
They had a gang at the time to protect themselves from these racist, situations. This is back in the 90s, so it was quite serious, with the racism and whatnot, So they formed a gang, and they were going around the area in big groups. So yeah, they saw me get beat, and then one of the boys must have said, "That's your brother over there," so they all ran over. And this thing kicked off, and then the other two joined in, and before you know it, we got the best of them.
Assalamu alaikum, and today we have a special guest, mashallah. We have brother Musa, who's been a Muslim how long now?
7, 8 months.
7, 8 months.
Yeah,
8 months. Originally, you might not remember, but my son, when they started the football thing, I remember seeing you come to the football with your son as well. Maybe 2 years ago now.
About that, yeah.
When they started the LIC
yes,
football thing, that's where I first saw you. So when he told me that brother became Muslim, I said, mashallah, man. So yeah, jazakumullah khair for coming.
Yeah.
And obviously, you became a Muslim 8 months ago. Maybe let's start from there. Like, when was your first thought of Islam? And then we can go into other topics.
Well, assalamu alaikum, my brothers. I've never had any intention to become a Muslim. There's no man, there's no woman in this world that guided me or inspired me to Islam.
Okay.
It was Allah himself.
Okay.
As when I took the shahada that day, it was, I had a lot of, I was in a bad place. And before I even spoke of the name Allah, I was in a very bad place. I asked Allah, please guide me. This has been before I was thinking to shahada. I knew nothing about Islam. I knew Muslim, I knew Islam, but I didn't know nothing about the life, knew nothing about Allah, knew nothing about our Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings on the Prophet. So basically, when I went through a hard patch and I asked Allah to help me, guide me through the hard times.
As in, like, you specifically said Allah, or just God?
I said Allah. Because my friend spoke Allah, so God's name is Allah. I said, Allah, I know that you're up there watching on me. Please guide me, through the hard times, and please make me right. Now, a couple of days later, Allah did what I asked him to do. He guided me, put me in a nice path. I was all good again, and I forgot all about Allah. I forgot all about him when I was in a good time. When I was in a good spot, I forgot all about Allah. Then I went wrong again, and I went so bad, so dark, in a dark place where one day I walked into a deck. I don't know why. It's probably about last year, June, July. I said to him, man, about 7, 8 in the evening, I looked up in the sky. It was evening, but it was still clear, and there was a cloud that looked like a sheep. So I said, Allah, I know that sign is to me, as from you to me. And I know I'm 48 years old, but I'm still a boy. Allah, please guide me. I'm sorry that I forgot about you when you helped me last time. And I promise you this time, Allah, I will not forget about you. And I try my best and do my best to continue doing right. Become a better person. Please, Allah, guide me home. Guide me to regain my soul, because my soul was like basically in a dark place. And I also said, Allah, I know you give me all the positive energy. And by getting angry every day, I was angry every day. Anything can just click me and I get angry. And there's a reason behind that. And so when I spoke to Allah, I said, Allah, please guide me. And this time I won't let you down. And which Allah did again. Once again, he guided me again. And then I think it was a year before that, I went to football and I met a brother with his son. And usually my son goes play football somewhere else in another park. For some reason, subhanAllah, Allah guided us there. So alhamdulillah, I said to my son to want to play down there. So I met this black brother, no longer plays for the football team no more. I can't remember his name. So he told me about the Islamic football team. So we went down there, and that's where I met Rana. Coach Rana. And then we went from there, and I was talking to Rana about Allah and whatnot. And I talked about Islam. And Rana said, you should take the Shahada. This is before I went to the Deccan, and when I went to the doctor's place. Rana keeps telling me to take Shahada. He don't keep saying it. So he to mention it to me, you should to look into Islam. So that never changed my mind. I didn't think of coming into Islam.
But there was a thought, obviously, that was created from that, though.
Yeah, yes, it was, yes.
Yeah.
So when I first say like this, the thought, what you just said there, was from Allah himself. It's always been there behind my. So my journey in my whole life, even before I became a Muslim, I would say I was always been a Muslim. I was a Muslim. Inside my soul, I will always be a Muslim, because going back to my childhood into my present time right now, there's a lot of signs from Allah. And I can't say to you guys or anyone out there that God don't exist. There's no way I can tell you he does not exist. All I had to do was go back to my first problems, my childhood problems from my first of my life, so from 12 years old.
Mm.
And I look all the way to my present time, and I can see Allah's always been there for me.
Okay. So is it that in hindsight you've looked back?
Yeah, I had to look back, yeah. That's the only way I can see Allah, by seeing everything he's done for me.
So what is it at 12?
At 12 years old is when I nearly got killed. I was walking through a park. I was going to Stockport School at the time, and I was walking through a path with one of my friends. We just finished school. We walked past this little path to catch a 77 or 77A where I lived in Lambeth. And I went to school in Stockwell. So these three, guys, I'll be honest with you, three English guys playing football.
English guys?
English guys, yes. So they were playing football. And the ball somehow kicked and came over to my side, came over to where we were. So I kicked the ball back to him, as I've never played football in my life. I kicked the ball, instead of going this way, it went this way. So one of them decided to come over and do the best out of me. So he punched me in my face, knocked me on the floor, and walked away and screaming and shouting, raving, well, look what I've done to the chink. So I got back up, and me and my friend continued walking down the path. And second time he ran over again, grabbed me, punched me again. And I got back up, and he's running around, shouting and raving again. So the third time now, I see my friend just run away. He just ran. And I see a big hand grab my foot, and I was getting, If my brothers, I said, alhamdulillah, my brothers didn't come around the corner today, we won't be here talking today.
Your actual brothers? Or
my real brother and the gang, their own gang.
They had a gang at the time.
They had a gang at the time to protect themselves from these racist, situations. This is back in the 90s, so it was quite serious, with the racism and whatnot, So they formed a gang, and they were going around the area in big groups. They saw me get beat, and then one of the boys must have said, "That's your brother over there," so they all ran over. And this thing kicked off, and then the other two joined in, and before you know it, we got the best of them. So when we had the best of them, we walked back home. But obviously, on the way back home, my brother carried me home. There was a CID sitting in the corner on Stockwell Station, but we did not know it. He's dressed like a homeless man. So we didn't know he started following us. And then my brother noticed that he had something in his hand. He was keep talking. So my brother said, "There's a policeman behind us," and no one would believe it. And then the next minute, a meat wagon pulled up and pulled us all up. And we all got arrested and took in. And this is when I was 12. And this man that attacked me was 21 years old, a grown man. So anyway, we got arrested, charged, ended up going to court. And then when we were at court, everything went, we went to court, everything went to trial. It didn't look good at the beginning. But then one of their witnesses came up, and that's what changed everything. And I would never forget this woman. When she went into court, when she went to give evidence against us, one of the person in court, I can't remember what they called him. They asked her before she give evidence, swear what religion she said she was Christian.
Yeah, they make you swear.
Yeah. So she said she was Christian, and then they said, "Yeah, you have to swear in this Bible, and then to say nothing but the truth." But obviously, what they're saying, they swear an oath. So when she swore an oath, and she turned around to the judge and said to Judge, I would like to say something to the man who attacked me. He begins with S. I would say his name is S. Then the judge go, "Okay, you can change it." So she turned over to Scott and said, S, I'm sorry, but I have to tell the truth. I cannot lie when I hold the Bible. I swear oath, I cannot lie. So my honor, she said, to my honor, I want to tell you exactly what happened. So she told the judge exactly what happened and exactly what I said.
Just like
happened.
what you just
said.
said.
Yeah, what I just said.
Yeah.
And the case was dismissed and thrown out of court straight away. It was over.
Okay.
It was done.
So put under self-defense kind of thing.
They didn't do nothing. They just closed the case. Said, well, the trial continue, but the jury found us not guilty. So it went all the way to the end of the trial. It was a 7-day trial.
But that witness changed
everything, yeah. And that's subhanAllah. It's all to Allah.
So in hindsight, when you're looking back, you're looking at that as a sign.
Yeah, that's a sign. See, that's from Allah again. You see, if it wasn't for Allah, a man, a boy that nearly got killed, could have been dead, ended up being caught. So I said that this subhanAllah is everything, alhamdulillah, Allah's done for me in my life.
I would say to that, Musa, for example, I had for comment, you mentioned Allah guiding directly speaking to you, but also indirectly.
Yes.
Yes, in that incident, probably many others.
Yeah.
Even your son playing for the masjid football team.
Yes.
Through that, you met Rana.
Yes.
Through that, you've come to the masjid. Even you were telling your son will tell you sometimes that he became like a reminder.
Yes.
About Islam and Allah.
Yes.
To you.
Yes.
Remember, he said, "Dad, don't get angry."
Yeah.
And then the other day, you said he would tell you when you become angry, I will let you shit.
That's it. Yeah, he says that's it. Yeah, constantly. Yeah, constantly makes it. Yeah.
Part of just.
So I say, alhamdulillah. I say most important in life is you have to recognize Allah's signs. Allah doesn't come down here and go directly to us and say, here I am. Allah doesn't do that. He doesn't need to do this. As long as your heart is strong and you have belief in Allah, Allah will show you the sign. You will know every single sign. I don't believe in coincidence. If you say coincidence, I can believe in one, but not 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
It's impossible to have 4 coincidences. One you might get away with, but 2 you can't.
Yeah.
So on my journey to Islam, to you guys, the most important to everyone to know outside there is I was a non-believer. I did not believe in anything.
What was your background? So even obviously you've gone back to your background of when you was a kid. Was you born here?
No, I was born in Vietnam.
Oh, so originally your background from Vietnam?
We escaped Vietnam, yeah.
The war?
The war, yes.
So is your father Vietnamese or who's Vietnamese? And
my blood father is Vietnamese. My stepfather is Chinese. My mum is Chinese. Yeah.
Okay, so you're half Chinese, half Vietnamese.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
You were born in Vietnam. How old were you when you came here?
We left Vietnam, I think I was about 4. Yeah, about 4 years old. Yeah.
When was the Vietnam War?
Back in 80 something it was. 86 or something like that. Maybe so maybe before that. I think 84, I think it's somewhere around. I can't remember.
Okay.
I was too
when
young.
you lot came here?
Yeah, that's when I came. So I think it's before then. No, it's before 80 something because I was born in 75. So I came to here when I was about 4 or 5.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. So
okay.
Yeah.
So what is the religion or the way of life of Vietnamese people?
Okay, so my dad, obviously he wasn't a Christian all his life. He became Christian. My mum was Buddhist. And I went to Buddhist temple when I was younger, just for the respect and go there. And what I can say to you like this is, there's one thing, very key important things for the Chinese people to realize is understand this. How we Muslims dress, how Chinese people dress.
Very similar.
Very same.
I was going to say that actually. In the movies back in the day, I used to watch a lot of Chinese movies when I was young. I did tell you this. Shaolin and all of this. And now that I look back and I'm like, Imam, that's the stuff you wear, man. But the only difference is their ones is a bit shorter. So they can do the fighting. Exactly. So they can still do their fighting and all that stuff.
Yes.
It's exactly the same, bro.
So when I say to people, Chinese people have to recognize that we're all Muslims.
Yeah.
We're all Muslims. The most important for people to recognize this, for me, is to say this, as a Chinese person growing up in a Buddhist family, seeing the prayers, everything we do, and our ancestors' prayers, it all relates back to Islam. We're all Muslims. So when people tell me, why did you become a Muslim? I say, why not? There's only one true God. And our Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. You read his life story. I cannot read, I'm dyslexic. I listen to audio tapes. And I say to people like this, is when you read the Quran, if you can read, I wish I can read. Because obviously I will study even more. But even with the knowledge of Allah's passed me through, even through my visions of my life, everything he's taught me. I'll say Allah is one of the best teachers on this whole universe. There's no one can teach you better than Allah.
If you're to listen and to look.
If you're listening, your heart opens to him. Okay? And I say to myself, and there's one time I said to Inman, it was the 17th of June, when I was crying out to Allah. My soul was crying to Allah. I said to Allah, why you give me so many chances? And after chances, I'm still doing haram. I'm still drinking alcohol, still drinking, smoking ganja. Why did you give me chances? I cried to Allah. He sent an angel to me. Alhamdulillah. The angel, I say to you, it was taller than my ceiling. It's tall as my ceiling. How I knew he was angel, he had what he was wearing was similar to this, but it wasn't like this. Similar to what I'm wearing. From this top half on, you cannot see. It's very blurry from here. But from here downwards, I can see him clearly. I know exactly what he's wearing. And I wouldn't say this angel was white, because what he's wearing wasn't white. It was grey, but it was so light that you can call it white. But it was definitely grey. And when I was crying out to the angel, my right hand, I was lifting up my right hand, it was very heavy when I tried to lift it up. And when he bent down to hold my hand, I saw the 2 wings on his back.
How old were you then?
This was only after Shahada.
Or after you took Shahada?
Yes, I had that. So I'm jumping places to places, but it's just because something with me, memory, long-term memory, I'm very good. Short-term memory, I'm very bad now. Very bad. So
it's however you want to translate it, no problem.
So I'm sorry if people see me jump to places, but sometimes my memory is very bad. Anything that's old, I can remember. Anything that's present, I'm very hard to remember. But some things that Allah given me, blessed me, I would never forget what Allah. Even I said to my wife.
Even the fact that you said 17th of June, it's like, for me, I don't even remember last week's date.
So 7th of June, just before 11 p.m.
Okay.
And when I hold on to this angel's hand, his hand was very warm, very soft. when people say to me, it could be a vision, it could be this, it could be a dream. No, I felt it. If I touch his sofa, this is the touch I felt with the angel's hand. But the angel didn't spoke to me. But when I hold his hand, what I felt for the angel was, Musa, it's okay. So Allah has assured me that it's okay. So subhanAllah again. So when people say to me about Allah, you know, for me, for the brothers and sisters that are Muslims and decide to leave Islam and no longer believe in Allah, please listen to me carefully. I'm telling you straight now. For me, you can give me the world, you give me this, but what Allah's given me is a very high privilege to meet an angel in this lifetime. And I'm only took Shahada not long ago as well. So to me, I feel very privileged from my Lord. And I said to people, a lot of my friends and families, I say to them, listen, forget about the materialistic stuff in the world that you go fight and earn for. Do you know Allah's given us one of the best things in life? You give you perfect kids. You got to give you kids that are perfect, and there's nothing wrong with you. There's no health problems.
Yeah, there's no disabilities or anything like that. They're breathing every day. They're healthy.
But also, Richard Musa, in terms of, you know, look, being a Muslim, becoming a Muslim, and even us, let's say, you know, being Muslims, that's a favor from Allah.
That's
Between us and non-Muslims, we're the same. Human beings.
100.
Allah giving you the ability to be a Muslim, to say the Shahada, to get family support for you being a Muslim. I mean, like, you know, your wife is here as well. I mean, your wife could have said, look, I don't need to be a Muslim.
100%.
And I'm not going to support you in this. Your wife came to the Shahada. Your kids came to the Shahada. I think your son was standing next to you when you took Shahada.
Yes, 100%.
You know, so all of that is Allah choosing you, and it's a blessing.
It's a very high blessing. So, yeah.
But I would like to know also, look, from that time of Shahada, it's been about 8 months.
Yeah.
How has it been? Has it been a difficult journey? Did you find Islam difficult? Did you find support from the Muslims?
Not at all. Not at all. Not even the slightest difficult. All you have to understand is it's like for someone who can't read, I listen to some hadith for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon my Prophet. You just have to see his life and understand his life. It's very basic. I also went to my son's friend's house. Muhammad, he's obviously a Muslim. And the difference is that when I come from my house to his house, my house has got so much rubbish in it. I call it rubbish. We've got a lot of stuff in our house that we do not need. When I go to his house, it's just a simple table, a TV, and a clock. That's all we need. We don't need anything more than that. You know? The most important we need is a Quran in your house. And every time you read the Quran, it's only going to make you better. So for me, I say Islam was the best thing in my life. You know, I served a lot of bad people in my past. You know, from the time when I nearly got killed. You know, when I was nearly got killed.
So go from that. So we don't. Maybe let's try to keep it chronological.
Yeah, okay.
At that 12-year-old stage, you've been obviously. You said Alhamdulillah. You the case was dropped due to the witness coming through or whatever. Obviously, we don't want to go into too many details of any negative stuff. But how was your life at your teenage ages of life?
Okay, so when after that happened, I wanted to hang around with the big boys.
Can I ask you one question on that? Just on the 12. Did they arrest you, or did they just arrest you, release you on bail until the trial finishes?
They arrested me, put me on bail, and then we went to court for the whole year.
Okay, so I mean, you were inside.
No, we wasn't inside. I was only 12 years old. So
yeah, fine.
But the most key impression is this for you, everyone to know is I was 12 years old when I got attacked.
Yeah.
Where was my social worker? Where was all this to help me? So I see it very. How would I don't know, because my English is very bad. You know, was he reading, writing? So certain things I say, but where was my support when I was 12 years old? So
one thing with that, Musa, you know, and this is like for everybody really, a lot of people will go through, let's say, difficulties, challenges, racism.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people do is just think about themselves.
Yeah.
So let's say if it's another ethnic community going through racism, they're not thinking about the Chinese or the Vietnamese community going through racism.
Just it. Yeah.
You know, but you'll find a lot of people go through that.
Yes.
And people that are good, Muslim or non-Muslim, should be there for everybody.
Yes.
Kind of, you know, support them in any sort of injustice they're facing.
Yeah.
So that should have been for you from other communities also.
Yeah. So what you said is right, man. So what I say to people like this is, because I didn't get that support, this is where my journey starts. And I just see there was nothing for us out there. There was no, how would you say, what's that word called? There was, you get in trouble and people help, you know.
Support.
There was no support. There was no one to be there for us. So my life then I got to support myself now. What you just said, I got to watch out for my number one now. And if I don't look after myself, I'm going to end up dead. So yeah, that day it changed me. From that day on, I like to hang around with the big boys. I'm not hanging with boys my age no more.
Mm.
So a lot of madness will happen, but I will always take it to the next level. And
Big boys, as in Chinese.
yeah, Chinese boys. Yeah, Chinese. We had some Muslim boys in our gang. We had white guys in our gangs.
Mm.
Yeah, we had a mix of everything, but more Chinese.
When you say gang, I mean gang. You're just talking about friends, though, or are you actually referring to?
Yeah, friends, but they could become a gang called Stockwell Boys. Everyone knows that gang is called Stockwell Boys. That's what we call it because we're from Stockwell. We went to school there.
Okay.
So the gang were called Stockwell Boys. Then what happened was we used that gang to protect ourselves from racism. But it went a bit stupid after that because once we done that, no one's attacking us no more. Now we're using gangs to attack other Chinese gangs, Vietnamese gangs. So we're fighting among ourselves now.
Mm.
This is what I show the community. You need to change this. This has to stop now.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, black, killing blacks, Chinese killing Chinese, Muslims killing Muslims, it doesn't come on the media. It doesn't show you nothing back. But we need to understand that this is not needed.
100%.
We formed a gang to protect ourselves. Okay. In Islam, the beauty of Islam is, I don't think violence no more. Before, violence was my first solution. Now it's my last solution.
Most gangs started like this.
Yeah.
Initially, it was a defensive mechanism against another gang or against racism.
Yeah.
Eventually, they became a gang, and they're the ones oppressing others and so on.
That's
so
it.
That's like a,
So we start fighting gangs. So then I was 13, I was on road, and there'd be parties in New Cross, in the church. You will know that New Cross is a one-way system. It's a one-way system. Now it's a two-way system now. So I think I can't remember. It's always, my memory's gone bad, so I can't remember. But there's a church in New Cross. And at the bottom of the church, every Sunday they'll hold a party there. Saturday, Sunday, I can't remember the 2 days. I can't remember exactly what. So Saturday, Sunday, we go party down there, and Deptford boys will come. There's another Deptford gang called Deptford Boys. So they will come into a party, and then we have beef with them, and it became a beef thing, and it got out of control. It really got out of control. And first it'll be fist fighting, then it'll be baseball bats, and then I took escalated, and I took it to the highest level. I'm not going to say what it is, but I took it to the highest level, to the level where the other gangs know that if you don't stop, someone's going to die. Because this guy's just gone too far now.
And again, this age is what, 15, 16?
I would tell you I was 40. Within a year, I grew.
So when this is happening, where's dad? Where's mom? Where's anyone?
Mom and dad has to work. Yeah,
from
now
doing anything?
mom and dad works. My dad works, and he comes home once a week, and he comes home on a Monday. My mom also help other people, for families with kids and whatnot. She'll go and help. Well, we are older kids now, we are old. To them, they think we ain't causing no trouble. They don't realize it. But in my household, I would say to you like this: the police were knocking our door at least 3 days a week. At least 3 days a week. If they're not looking for me, they're looking for my brother. If they ain't looking for him, they're looking for my other brother.
How many siblings you got?
We have 5 of us.
All boys?
All boys. All boys. That's where the problem is.
It's a gang in itself, man.
Yeah, it's a gang in itself. only if we actually got on, but we didn't really get on.
Did anyone stay on the straight path, or everyone was involved in this?
Only the youngest brother, he was supposed to be on the straight path, but he was obviously, I wouldn't say forcing it, but he would when he sees his brother get harmed and everything, he'll jump in it. So to me, it was unfair on him. He was the only one that was the most straightest one. But then when he sees his brother's in trouble, he's going to jump in. And then he got himself involved. So yeah, so like I say, we started doing this. My youngest brother, he was attacked in Lean Bailey School. Another gang come to attack one of his friends, and he told him to help his friend. And then his friend ran away, then he got attacked, and he ended up in hospital. And he nearly died. And obviously, you know what happens when I find out that's happened. Then obviously, I'm going to take it there, but I then went and dealt with the situation. And the situation which we dealt with, and it never happened again. So from there, it just grew and grew, and this gang life got bigger from small gangs. Then we got into the triads. That's when the situation gets serious now.
Triads. What did triad stand for, though? I used to hear about triads when I was younger.
Triad is like a Chinese organization, crime organization. So it's more.
That was just a nickname they gave them, so it didn't stand for anything. Triads.
No, triads is the English call it triads.
Okay.
But the triads, they have their own group names. So, like for example, I say the 14Ks, for example, I heard of 14K. Yeah. So 14K was 14 brothers in Hong Kong who started this gang. The same again, I was just said to you before, to protect themselves from other neighboring boys and whatnot. And that gang grew. When it grew big. So then we have another gang called WSW, Wars in War. It's another Hong Kong gang. Same again. I don't know how the F established, 14K, because that was a gang I was joining right at the beginning. And once you're in part of one gang, you're not supposed to leave that gang, go to another gang. Unless your boss has done something wrong to you or whatever. So as I've said to you before, when we started the gang, well, my brother them started the Stockwell Boys, I took it to the next level. And this was my problem. I was the youngest in that group, but I always took it to the next level. So you bring out punches, sticks, and it stopped from there, but then I took it to the next level. And that war stopped. So when I went in the 14K gang, same thing again. My boss couldn't protect me. And I was out of control. I was like a loose cannon. So I was doing a lot of bad, I wouldn't say evil, but I did a lot of bad stuff. And I got it to a point where my boss just couldn't hack it no more. He just said, "Doctor, you just got to do what you got to do." Then there was a war with 14K and SW. And one of my good friends, was with SW. So
14K, when they base like more New Cross.
14K is more in London, anywhere in London.
Okay.
Their gang, that line is very big in London, but in Manchester and all the way down, the biggest gang in the UK will be SW. That's the biggest, obviously, crime organisation. So it'll be that 14K, will be London, then you got Leicester and other places like that.
Okay,
but like I say, yeah, so they control, yeah, they're very well connected, yeah. So then when I went with the SW lot, because it's the 14K is having war with the SW, so it's so on and so on, I then took sides. I don't have a life where I'm 50-50, like with Allah now. I'm 100% behind God. I'm with God. That's who I'm with. I'm with Allah, the one true God. That's just me. I'm 100%. I don't do 50-50. I don't believe and non-believe. I either believe or believe all. Or don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe in that. So I jumped on with the SW lot. So I stayed in that group, and then SW grew again. With my, not saying just me, but there's a lot of controllers in this gang. But I'm one of the guys that if you for me, I'm there. And well respected in the gang life. I was very respected. But I was trying to tell the people in the younger generation now, you have to very important think about like this. When you serve a gang and you go into this gang life, when you go to jail, your gang members ain't gonna come and see you. Remember that one. That's the most key thing. They're not gonna come and see you. And when they're living in the high life and you're at the bottom life, you'll be the last person they call on until they got trouble. So I say to people like this is what happened to me. When I was in this gang life, they know what I'm useful for. I'm the guy that puts in work. So if you for me, you know the work's gonna get done. But when they live in a high life, when they're enjoying at their big restaurant, big parties, they don't call me. But when they know there's enemies there, they will call me. They make sure I'm there with my boys or the people that are behind me. So you have to understand one thing. This gang life, it's like you serve, like we serve Allah. I prefer to serve Allah than serve these. You understand? You serve Allah. He's always doing is teaching you the right things to do in your life. He's giving you a doorway to Jannah. These gangs ain't going to give you this. They want you in prison. Once you go in prison, they don't want to know about you no more. You're done. You're done. They're now not come and see me once.
Did you end up going inside there?
Yes, I went to jail. Yeah, I went to jail. Yeah. So when I went inside there, same thing. I went inside. I realized it. It was only my family. But I told my partner at the time and my kids, don't come and see me because they put me too far away from London. I didn't want them to come all the way up there for 1 hour and they go home. I didn't want that. So I did time in there, and I said,
How old were you, Musa? How old were you when you went first time?
First time, I think I was about 19.
You only went one time prison?
Yeah, one time, yeah.
Okay, and can you or can't you mention what you went in for?
Yeah, I can, yeah. So I basically, I like cars. I love cars. I always buy cars. I'm about Hisham's here today. I love cars. He's bought one of my cars as well. Hisham's here. So I like cars. I like BMW 325s. I was always into E30s. When I was younger, I had all of the cars. Alhamdulillah, Allah just gave me everything. Yeah, when I was younger. So I used to modify cars, changing wheels, and then buy bigger wheels, different wheels, just make them look nicer. So one day I was doing my car. One of my neighbors upstairs said, "Oh, you know that scratch mark on your door?" I never thought nothing about it. You know that scratch mark on your door? That guy over there did it. So anyway, so I thought, don't worry, that's cool. So I was changing the wheels and whatnot. A few hours later, he walks through the alley. And I see him. So I asked him. So I said to him, did you scratch my car? And he goes, no, I didn't scratch your car, I scratched your face. This is a 6-foot ex-Navy guy. So I said, oh yeah? And what I said to you, I like modifying cars and changing wheels. I had a big metal pole in my hand. I said, really? Okay, let me show you. Boom. I struck him straight away. And everyone obviously get involved in fighting and everything and start kicking. And he come running away. I'm going to burn your house down. I'm going to burn your house down. And we got in the car and we drove off. We went. Got about a business. I came back now. I said, alhamdulillah, if Allah didn't send me to prison that day, a lot of things could be different. Yeah. Allah sent me to prison to save my life, first to save my life, or maybe even a big prison sentence.
Yeah.
So that little sentence that Allah sent me to, alhamdulillah, I say to her, it was I would say good education for me to learn about prison and say, don't come back to this place no more.
How long were you in there for?
They give me a year, but I did a little bit over 6. Well, you only do 6 months.
Okay.
And the first thing and most important thing is, it was my first offense for ABH. And I met a guy that did 13 on the 14th one. Then they put me in prison. So this was my first offense. I went to jail straight away. So I say, alhamdulillah, I know it's not a problem. You know, it is what it is in life. And you know, if this is what Allah chose for my life, this, like I say, the story belongs to Allah. Allah's given me this life and He's given me this story to tell to everyone. The suffering in our life, we have to understand. We suffer to come out that end better.
Yeah, true. Did you after that, did that have an impact on you going to prison and coming out and saying, look, now I'm going to be on a straight and narrow, or did you carry on with what you were doing before?
No, it made me worse. It made me worse. It made me worse. Prison made me more knowledgeable. I'm not saying it. It did make me more knowledgeable, but I never feared prison. Prison showed me something that I can say to you guys right now, and I've always protected and stood my ground and say what I said. Because when I came in prison, an incident happened. But before that, I show you what changed me when I went to prison, though. I didn't want to go back there. It's my father. My father wasn't my blood father, but this man was so loving. I can tell the world, and now when I talk to you, I can cry. It's just like listening to Muhammad, my Prophet Muhammad, may peace be with my Prophet Muhammad. He can make me cry. When I hear our Prophet story and I hear talk my father, it makes me cry. Because these people are kind people, good people. My father, I didn't even know he was my stepfather until the day he passed away. That man looked after me. My mum is still here, but to all the brothers and sisters out there who's got mums and dads who love them, please respect it and cherish it. It's very important to understand it. My mum was not there for me like how I see my friends. Their mums are there for cleaning their clothes and everything like that. And my friend went downstairs and shouted at his mum, said, why is my shirt is like wrinkly? And F this and F that, do it. So I say to the people that has got good mums and dads, please respect it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always wanted that. When I see that, that's what I always wanted, but I didn't have that. I'm not saying my mum mistreat me, but I never had what they had. But Allah gave me a man into my life. My father, my stepfather, was my mum and my dad at the same time. My dad is still alive now, but I never know my dad until only like about 6-7 years ago when I went back to Vietnam to see him. Because when I buried my dad, my cousin turned around, my cousin's mum turned around and said to me, your dad is still alive. And that upset me. Because I said I just buried him. You know, I just buried him. So my mum kept this as a secret for years. So after finding out he was not even my blood father, I loved him even more. And there's one thing I have to say. When I was about 13, coming 14, I bunked school all the time. My dad got a letter and found out I bunked school one day, and he shouted at me. And he got the belt and whipped me. Not because he whipped me, because he wanted to whip me. Then when he whipped me, he stopped. Then he told me to go to the kitchen and get a handful of rice, put it on the floor, and made me kneel on the rice. Not for long, just for about maybe 3 minutes, and that hurt him. And then he told me to get up and stand on my one leg. And he went into the living room. And I need to share this with the world. It was very important to know this, because my father was a very good man. And then he shouted that to me when I was in the bathroom and said, put your shoes on and go to school. And when I went to the front door, opened the door, he turned around and I see tears in his eyes. And my exact words to my father was, what are you crying for? It's not like you hurt me, you red-eyed devil. My dad said, go to school. My dad hurt and he cried because the pain that he put me through. It's when he hit me with that belt, it hurt him more than it hurt me.
And that's your stepdad.
Yeah, so that's my stepdad, yeah. So that man was something else, and that says, subhanAllah, Allah put that man into my life.
So what was it in prison? Because when you started, you said in prison, what changed you was...
My father. When I got angry with my father, I said to my dad, why didn't you come and visit me in prison? My dad goes to me, son, it's not I don't want to come visit you in prison. I'm your dad. And I'm used to, if I can't take you out of prison, I can't go into the gates and go in there, and then when we go home, I can't take you with me. That broke my heart, brother. That really broke my heart. And that's the reason I said I never go back to prison again. You know, I don't want to break my dad again. And from that journey onwards, then everything played out and I became bigger than what I came. I went and involved myself with Vietnamese gangs. The reason why I left the Vietnamese gangs, they have no rules. They don't live by any rules. They're very ruthless. I might do bad things in my life, but I never had bad intentions. Everything I've done, my brother Hisham has recognized that I don't do bad things. I don't have bad intentions. I do what I got to do to protect my loved ones, my people, who I'm in with that gang. I protect 100%, and I'm loyal to my people, and I will die for them. This is the problem in my life. And going through the journey of this whole thing with the triads and whatnot. So I went from 14K to SW. I want to talk much about the gang sport. Then my life grew from there. And then from the Vietnamese gang was the most ruthless. That's why I changed from Vietnamese to Chinese gangs. Because the Vietnamese, if they're going to go to, not all Vietnamese, just the gangs at that time. If a Vietnamese guy comes in, or a Chinese person borrows money from someone, and they go collect that money, and if the man's not there, if there's women and children, there's no rules. You understand where it goes from there. And it will go any way they want. They don't think, they don't have a heart, they don't have a soul. These people, when I say they're cold, they're cold. Not talking normal people, I'm talking these gang lords.
Gang culture,
Yeah, this gang culture in that era. I'm not talking about the era now. I don't know about the era now, but the era where I was in, it has no rules and it's cold when you go into places like that. And I've seen some really bad things. And I don't want myself involved in something where there's kids and women. I don't involve myself.
Even though you was in the gangs, you had certain principles that maybe you didn't pass.
I didn't pass that. That's what so the gang lord at the time, who only lived in Kidbrook, he was one of the biggest guys, one of the most fierce gang members, Vietnamese gang members, said to me that if you don't do this kind of stuff, then you'll never get to the top. Well, I proved him wrong because I didn't have to do this stuff to get to the top. Didn't get to the top, but I got to the top and I got all the respect for not doing these kind of things. Other things, yes, I've done a lot of things. If you send me to do this and do that, I'll get it done. And my father always say to me, you can never send a boy to do a man's job. And I understand what my father say at the end of it. When I realized when I sent other people to do things and it didn't work out how I wanted to do. So I realized it was totally rubbish. I have to always be there.
How long did this carry on for then? You came out at 19.
Well,
how long were you involved in that?
No, I started the gang thing from the age of 12 and half, 13 and stayed in gang life. Went to jail when I was 19.
Okay.
Came out and then the gang, then this is when this happened. This is when machete attacked my head.
Okay.
So
what was that to do with? Can you explain?
Yeah, I can say yeah. So basically, it was to do with my brother. When I come out of prison, my brother sold a car to someone, one of the gang members, but he literally took money from someone and bought money and made money from it. So really, we can call it a con, whatever you want to call it. I was dragged into it because it's my brother. Even though he's in the wrong, I was still back my brother because we're friends or not. This is how I am. So when that happened, just before that happened, this scar on my head. Just before that happened, I was just saying, we got set up by the same guy. So that instant when I told you about that gang life with my brother, it was a set up. Just before I fight him, there was another instance. So basically, this machete on the head was basically C. I was MC. My brother Hisham also know who he is as well. He got involved and he's on heroin. All the gang members got involved in heroin and crack. They all start smoking it. And the maddest thing about heroin and crack is if you're associated with a gang member and you don't do that drug to feed their habit, now you become, as you're looking down at them. So they want you to take the same drug as them so you can feed their habit at the same time, which I'd never done. So my brother's a bit weak, so he went and started taking the drugs with him. And they started doing nightclubs. So we started doing all the nightclubs and made a lot of money for the nightclubs, whatnot. A Vietnamese gang member came to our club, my brother's club, and said, I demand XYZ amount of tickets. Usually for the gang, every other different gangs, we have to give respect. It's like 10, 15 tickets free to all the gang members, certain gang members. All the top bosses will come and get it. So this guy demanded 50 tickets. I'm sure 25, 50, I can't remember the exact number. So my brother ain't going to give it. So my younger brother couldn't understand Chinese. So the gang lord at the top at the time, the Chinese guy who the Vietnamese guys follow, because I know it sounds funny, the Chinese guys at the top, then the Vietnamese guy follow, then he's got the foot soldiers. He turned around and said, okay, we want this, we want that, and then we said we ain't going to give it. We stick to the rules, I'll give you 20. So my brother agreed on 20, so they were stunned. So the top gang boss came on the phone and spoke to my brother. I say, that war means break even then. It means let's squash it and it's done. But my brother didn't understand that because that in Chinese is fight. He didn't understand the war. War means even. Mm-hmm. So he didn't know that. So he obviously swear from everything blind to a top gang lord. He ain't going to take that easy. And this is what happens here. So the next step is I get a phone call in Finsbury Park in 95 when I just come out of jail. There's something going on. My brother's down in Finsbury Park. So I'm jumping in my car. I'm going. I'm not hanging about. We didn't know it was a machete attack. We didn't know nothing. Because going to Finsbury Park bowling, you ain't going to think, oh, I'm going to carry machetes in there. Because more gang members will not carry machetes into places like that. So I'm not thinking of it. I jumped in the car and flew down there. As I flew down there, I come inside. I just got there and I heard someone shot my brother.
Shot.
chopped my brother on the back. I told him why he got chopped. Then my younger brother then walked out of the bowling alley. I'm saying, what's my brother doing? So as I walk out the bowling alley, and the hallway in Fringe Park Bowling is like an alley. So two guys are punching up a guy, and I look at it, it looks like orange jacket, it looks like my brother. So I've gone over there, I realised my brother, so I punched this guy, grabbed this guy, punched him. As one guy's walking away, he's come back, and he's obviously got machetes, and went down. So I look up, it's too late, he already knows me, scared. He froze, but he's gone down already. Didn't realise it's me who was chopping. So the machete's got me right in the head. I then punched his rib straight away, so I started punching his rib, and I pulled the machete off. That's why I lost this finger. This finger doesn't move. This one doesn't move. I pulled the machete off him, and I chopped him back with the machete. And now I'm holding charges. So please try to charge me for something that obviously self-defense. But cut long story short, before this machete attack, I used to hear voices, sounds, loads of voices. And I thought I was going crazy. I was shouting, playing music loud. I think I'm going crazy. So anyway, I left it for years, and then 2 weeks later, this happens. So I forgot all about it. It's nothing. So this Vietnamese problem gang things dealt with. Then it escalated to my brother now. My brother with C. He's got a problem with the car thing I told you about. So the first step where I got chopped, it was set up with that from that guy. So C set up a Vietnamese gang to attack my brother, and which it crashed. Our brothers was enough to handle the situations. So then he got mad because that guy couldn't deal with it. Now he's getting involved in it now. So yeah, it got carried away, but subhanAllah, Allah sent me to prison, alhamdulillah. He sent me to prison. I met Burgers and Johnsons.
Sorry, you went to prison again?
No, the first time. That's when I went to prison.
Okay.
Sorry, that's the first time I went to prison. So after that, I went to prison. So I'm just going back to where I went in prison.
Okay.
So that's how, when I come out of prison, I said before I come out of prison, then this all happened. So when I was in prison, subhanAllah, I was alhamdulillah what Allah done for me. I met Burgers and Johnsons. And
Burgers and Johnsons.
Yeah, Burgers and Johnson from Birmingham. Burger Boys.
Oh, okay.
Burger Boys and Johnsons.
That's one crew that's together in Birmingham, or
They're not together. Two different
groups?
guys. No, they don't get on.
Okay, that's what I thought. So they're Burger Boys and
Johnsons.
the Johnsons.
They're completely different. Yes, two different gangs. But when we were in prison, everyone's okay. So I met these guys in Only prison. So when I was about 19, that's the first time we were in prison. So yeah, so I met them. I met the brothers there. Everyone's good, I got on with both sides. Both sides didn't fight each other when in prison. One's in A wing and I was in B wing, and so on and so on. So I was in A wing, so more my one's Johnson's, more Burgers on the B wing. So anyway, I met these guys. Only known them for 4 months, 3-4 months. Came out on the road, made connections, start talking to them. Me and them will start getting on. I've done some crazy stuff in prison as well. To show them I was the only yellow-skinned, dark-haired guy in prison, and I was holding my ground, and ain't no one's gonna come up with it. I never got done and bullied by anyone in prison. So that's why the Johnsons recognized me. So I met good brothers. I lost one of the brothers of over 15, 20 years. I met him, one of the brothers, very good brother. I want to say his name, but I lost a very good brother from Johnsons. So I met them, and one day when this trouble escalated, I had another friend of mine, Jay, obviously C I had a problem with. I've just done a whole load of things for Jay. So I said to Jay, I got beef with C, innit? So what are you saying? You're on it or not on it? Oh, I'm sorry, Rich, I can't do it. He knows where I live and know this and so. I said, say no more, leave it. Just leave it. It's cool. I jumped on the phone, never thought nothing, phoned up my boys from Johnson. I said, listen, I got a bit beef on them. And I can swear to God, these brothers came down in 2 cars.
Birmingham.
From Birmingham. These are the black brothers. Not one yellow brother, black hair, no one. 10 black brothers came down and backed my beef up without even one question. I was, Bolo, where are you? They call me Bolo in prison because they said I look like Bolo.
Well, from that Bruce Lee film,
yeah,
Bolo, the big one.
Yeah, because when I was in there, when I was in prison, I was wrapping up prison as well. I was wrapping them up. Yeah, so I was wrapping people up.
Now that you say that,
yeah. So the Johnsons and Burger know me as Bolo. Don't call me as Richard if they call me Bolo in prison. So yeah, that was the nickname they gave me. So yeah, I wrap things up.
Everyone has to get a nickname in prison.
Yeah. So I wrap things up in prison, and so on and so on. I don't really want to talk much about prison, but I wrapped up about things in prison.
So they come down.
Yeah, so they come down. A Rover 214, blue 4-door one. Rover 216 Tomcat red. This I can still remember the day, the cars they drove down to me. And then
So you remember new stuff or the old stuff, man?
old
Remember
stuff.
the old stuff.
Oh, the old. Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
New
Remember
stuff.
all the old stuff, the new stuff you don't
I
remember.
can't remember the new stuff. Anything old, they're still there in the back of my head. If everything present, I'm just jumping on because I just remember it comes in.
That's
Gets
deep.
in. So yeah, they came down, and again set up again. So when we walk into this nightclub, Coliseum, no longer there no more, in Vauxhall. So I come to the front counter, you know, where we walk into the club, and the security turned around and said, "You only got 2 tickets. You only got 2 entry tickets." 10 of my brothers there. So one of my brothers just lift up his top and say, "What?" So the bouncers got scared. So the brother said to him, "Listen, this is not for you, but if the popos turn up, 5-0s turn up, then this won't miss you." So the security got backed off, and we went in and about our business. As soon as they saw us and they heard that Rich is, like, by the time they call me Rich. So that's the road name for the tribes, and they all know me as Richard. So yeah, they say, Rich is here. So his guy runs through the back of the Coliseum, jumped in the MR2. We then had to run back downstairs, jump in our Rovers and shoot down there, you know, chase after this car. So as we come from Vauxhall, it's like a movie scene. You go to Vauxhall, you come down Vauxhall, you got to go right, it takes you stop, we'll go straight, you go to Kennington. You know what I'm talking about? The Vauxhall station?
Not personally, but God.
Okay, Vauxhall station. So I remember this, if you know it, so basically as we were speeding behind him, this MR2's pulled a right. And we're in a Rover, so he's pulled the car, skidded everywhere. Or the reverse, and then hear a big bang. You know what I mean? Bang, you know what I mean? Yeah, so anyway, that went off, and that's it. The car went missing. Didn't see them after that. When we went home, got on about business, they went back to women and done. That was wrapped up. And that problem stopped.
Finished.
Yeah, finished. So in gang life is like this, is when you take it to the next level, it's either going, someone died and someone not dead.
There is, we'll always speak about the street life because obviously I was in it myself as well. And it's like with the streets, it's always whoever can do the highest thing is the most feared.
Yes.
But with that, someone is always going to come up one day and do more than you're willing to do.
100%.
That's just how the street life is. The hardest person today, another young kid who's never done anything in the world,
And finish it.
wants to make a reputation for himself, will do something so crazy to get that reputation.
Yes,
so the street life you've been explaining so far, like you even said in the beginning about you go to prison and no one visits you and it's only your parents and your family.
Yeah.
Because the streets, these people that you hang around with, they're really and truly they're associates.
Exactly.
They're not really friends. They're people who live in your area. Yeah, you might share some few ideas together, but you've never really been tested in such a way that you can say, these are my friends.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
100%.
So when you go to prison now, who comes to see you? It's your mum who really likes you. It's your wife if you have a wife.
Yes.
It's your kids because they really love you.
Yes.
It's not the friends because these friends, they saw you as a form of protection, or maybe you gave them money, or there was some form of reciprocal energy. Does that make sense? Your mum doesn't need your love. She just loves you because that's your mum, your dad or your wife. They love you naturally. They don't need you to bring them anything. But with the streets, you have to give me protection, or I'm your friend because of money, or some form of, there's something given.
Yeah.
So as you explained, I don't think there's, as you've realized anyway, most people do realize after a while, whether they get 30 years in prison or they end up leaving the streets like you've left the streets, that the streets ultimately sucks you in and doesn't give you anything back.
Okay. I can't disagree with any more than what you say, 110% right. And the maddest thing about it, coming home to Islam, coming home to my Lord, is the only reason my Lord released me from that. Because this life chose me. Like I said earlier, if you choose to go into this life, you can choose to come and go when you want, that was your wish. Mine wasn't even like that. Mine was, this life chose me. So I was there for.
When you say this life, you mean Islam?
No, the
street life.
The street life. It chose me. So, and now Islam is my life now. Allah's guided me home now. But first,
how did you leave? Let's just due to time, we need to choose our stories carefully. How did you end up leaving the streets?
Coming home to Islam. It's only recently.
Okay, so before Islam, you were still dibbling.
I'm still. You can never come out of it. You can never come out of this life. Once you're in the gang life, you can't come out of it. It's down to your soul if you allow yourself to go. But my soul, even though I left the gang life, my soul was always there. But now coming home to Islam, Allah's released my soul from there and come home now. So to me, I'm very lucky to have the Lord behind me and watch over me. Because my life is so, I would say I'm such a blessing.
So from the time of Shahada, that was a change, yeah? Up to that time, you carried on?
After the Shahada.
Yeah, up to the Shahada time, you were still involved?
Yeah, I'm always involved. It's like someone always call me and say, yeah, I need this sorted. And I can still arrange it. Even to today, I was just sitting in the chair. I can still arrange it, but I choose not to because I have to answer to my Lord one day.
I know one thing, Rich. Your wife is here, your kids are here. Just want to speak about when did you get married, and also how did your wife feel about you being involved in that life? What did she say to you? Also, your shahada, how did she feel about that as well?
We didn't really get married. We've been together as partners, and then it's through some times and rough times, and we come apart and came back and whatever. That's one thing. But supposedly the side of it, she just put me on the way. She never done it, even though just to the point where I have to eat halal food. Everything has to be halal. She's
now or before?
No, after I took shahada.
Okay. No, what about before though?
Before, yeah, everything's been okay. Everything before has been all right. Life's been okay. Wouldn't say it's good, but it had my ups and downs, and I was in a very dark place where I upset the whole family. And I said to her, most important is that this is the change. You need to recognize the change.
Are you happy? Are you happy with this change, this shahada, sister?
Yeah. It's he's a better person. A lot better person.
He's a good guy because he was telling me, I think on Saturday, we were talking. I think your mother passed away, correct?
Yeah,
November. That impacted him. He was telling me about how that impacted him, even though that was your mother, not his mother. He was just telling me that on Saturday. So he's got a good heart, man.
She's, I say she's a very good woman. You know what it is? Nobody, because I had a family before I went with her. And I'll give you another part of it, but I won't go too deep into it. But if you guys want to see this thing through lens of what it is, I will do something and even make a book of my life and to help the brothers and sisters in Islam, and just to guide you guys right. And if I do this book, more than 70% is going to go to Islam, to help Islam for the charity. That's what I'm going to do. So my life, like I say, my story belongs to Allah. So her mum didn't like me not because she didn't like me, but she didn't like me because my lifestyle. Not even trying to hide the gang life away from her. It's pointless. She's hiding it away from her. She knows I'm part of a gang. When I go to Newcastle, I've took over a gang. There's a gang that's established there for 30 years, and I've gone in there within 3 years. I've took them out. I took over the whole thing, and everyone says, Richard's not Newcastle's number one. But I don't bully anyone. I'm not a bully. So if you come to me and you want to ask me for help, I help. If I can help, I help. So her mum knows it. She knows it. So she never did really agree with me, like me with her daughter, because I've got kids as well. But once she accepted it, she accepted it. She ran out, I had 3 kids, and she accepted it. And she talks about them, everything. She's a good person. A very, very good person she is. In her heart, she's a very good person. But when the police come knocking on her door and searching her house up for something that I was set up for, I'm not going to go into what it is. But yeah, they knocked on the door, searched her house. How mum are going to like that? Her dad didn't like that. Their parents are going to like that. Their family, they're not a non-trouble family. They don't get involved in any trouble. And police knocking at the door for the first time because of me, you can accept it, innit?
Yeah.
But but when I took the shahada, he gave me a Cantonese Quran, and that was directly from Allah, because I cannot read Chinese, and I gave it to her mum, and 3 days later her mum passed away.
Subhanallah.
So, yeah, subhanallah. So I say to people like this when Iman gave me the Quran, it was to help her, and after she passed away, I can't remember how long, 2-3 weeks later, or maybe 4 weeks, I can't remember exactly what day it is. She came back in a vision. I saw her. The first time I saw her, me and my missus was arguing. She was sitting on a table, very low table, and the room was very dark. I looked at her and I tried to talk to her, but she wouldn't respond back to me. A week later, 2 weeks later, everything took better. Then I saw her again. But this time, her kitchen, in a takeaway, she got a takeaway. So there's a counter where they prepare the food and put everything. That counter's not there. When in this vision, I do not see that counter. I see the same kitchen, but there's nothing there. The room was so bright. And she looks so healthy, and she looks good. And she said to me, Maaf Hansani, Richard. So in English, how would you translate Maaf Hansani, Richard? A little burden, unit.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the burden. You help.
Taking on the burden.
Taking on the burden. And that's the last time I saw her. I didn't see her.
Before she passed or after?
That's after I passed away. Yeah, she passed away. I saw her. So I believe, even my father, even to the point where I nearly lost my daughter. Same again, my father came back and I was lying on the sofa. I don't want to go too deep into that story, but I nearly lost my daughter to into social care. I was lying on the sofa and a man appeared in same what I'm wearing, but I only see from up here. But he was wearing all white, white hair, white beard, and had a big fluffy white chicken. I was lying down. He's pushed the chicken towards me. He's giving to me the chicken, and he's flapping his wings. And I'm kicking the chicken away. And what he is, don't you want your daughter back? And I woke up. I said this to the social worker. And the social worker, after when I got my kid back, she lifted her hand up and she said, Rich, can you see this? All her hairs were standing up. She goes, if you told me afterwards, I wouldn't believe it. But what you told me before, it's made my hair all stand up. So a couple of years gone by, I told this story to a couple of my friends. My friend goes to me, why the chicken? I just realized it was my father. I couldn't look at the person's face. It's my father. He's the year of a chicken. So that's a symbol of my father. To show me the chicken, and that the chicken was big and fat and fluffy. So I say, subhanAllah, alhamdulillah, what Allah's done for me in my life is you have to look at life very differently. And with my wife, you know, sometimes you have to understand like this is, we do not see the good in people until after.
After they go to work.
Yeah.
But there's that saying, isn't it? You don't know what you have until you lose it.
Yes. So I was coming back, you said, Iman, about how did she feel? No problem whatsoever. I had no problem with my family. The religion had no problem whatsoever. Had no problem. No one even puts me anything. Everything else gets support. Even to the point where they go and buy food and, you know, chicken in the halal shop for me. I didn't see that. Because, you know, in the shaitan, this blocks you up and trying to make you not see things and trying to play with your mind.
Yeah, the goodness.
Yeah, because I was, you have to understand, I was in a very dark life since I was 12 years old all the way to 48. You know how many years that is already? It's all haram. Everything was haram I did then. Everything was bad.
How old were you when you mature, your wife?
Matured, you say?
How old were you?
When you met?
When you met?
When I met her. Oh, how old? I was 21. Is it 21? I can't remember when I was 21.
22.
Oh, 22 then. I was 22.
So
So it was 98, somewhere 97, 98.
credit to her
Inshallah.
that she's been on a journey with your downs and then ups.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And, you know, you've taken her on a like a roller coaster ride.
No, yeah, I'm mad with this.
And she's this. Now you become a Muslim, and she's still with you. Okay, that's a good lady. That
You know,
have
it's a
with
blessing. It's a blessing from Allah. Like I say, He's the best planner in this universe. He's the best planner. Like even today, I got something to show the brothers, to the brothers and sisters who are Muslims and decide to walk away from Islam and say, you know, I don't believe in Allah. There's some piece where I want to give to Iman. They make this one here. You guys will see this here. It's dated here. I go to masjid and I ask Allah for something. I'm going to tell you guys what it is. But whatever I ask for is actually in this envelope. And today I'd like to pass this in, man. Even Iman doesn't. No one knows. The only person, there's only 3 people know what's written in here. There's names and contact numbers of the people in here. And Iman will have this. And the day when it does go through, and this is say, subhanAllah, alhamdulillah, Allah's going to give me what I asked for. When Iman open this, you guys better remember, believe in Allah. Because Allah's there.
Mashallah.
Yes.
When do you want me to open this?
When it happens.
When it happens, yeah.
Yeah.
You open it and everything inside that.
Big responsibility, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, that responsibility is going to be something. You have
So to make it clear for viewers, are you saying you made a dua, like you made a supplication to
Yes,
God
yes,
asking for a particular thing?
Yeah.
You've written it on here
Yes.
to prove to people that don't believe in God, one day when it does come true, that God is there basically.
Thank you. Yes, 100%.
And then when it comes true, you want me to open it up.
You open it for the world to see.
Inshallah.
You see, yesterday when my wife was, I
Said,
wrote,
I'm a trustworthy guy. I'm going to go out.
you know what it is?
And I'm reading it.
Okay, so when Allah spoke to me yesterday, that was on the 13th, when He told me what to do with my life. He spoke to me yesterday. So I put the date today. I passed it to you today. It's the 14th. Yeah, that's what.
Okay, it says 13th on May of there.
Yeah,
yesterday.
but I given to you today. So I wrote the day that I given to you today.
Okay.
So I say to the people, if you ask Allah for something, Allah will give, but only in your right time. Allah never gave me things when I wanted them because Allah was protecting me. Remember, He was protecting me. Allah gave me something, I said in my life, that we made so much paper. I'm not going to say what paper it is, paper, that I got sick of counting it.
That's the principle of, we call it dua, which means supplication.
Yeah.
Allah always answers. But Allah answers your supplication when you need it the most. You might think tomorrow, Allah, I need it tomorrow. No, wait a minute. You're going to need it in 2 years' time.
Yes.
I'll give it to you then. That's the principle of dua in our Muslim tradition, Islamic tradition.
Yeah. So inshallah, so I'll say that when people say to me, because when I was sitting there yesterday talking to the Lord, I spoke to the Lord. I always time I lie down, I talk to the Lord, I speak, I sit down, I talk to the Lord, I lie in bed, I still talk to Him. I'm driving, I talk to the Lord. And I don't know if some brothers or sisters can feel it, what I feel, but I can feel the Lord talking back to me. It's very similar, but more better and beautiful than what the shaitan is telling you to do bad things. When you decide to go somewhere and do something bad, the shaitan telling you to do it. You're not telling yourself to do it. He's telling you what to do.
Yeah,
He's
there's
whispering
whispers in your ears.
So I get the same feeling from Allah talks to me, but a beautiful feeling, not the same feeling. He's not hyping me up. Allah's telling me, you get it. You do this, you do that. I'm following it. So everything on that piece of paper, every name and contact numbers on that piece of paper, in that letter there, that piece of paper there, will be revealed to you guys when the time is right. And it won't be long before you're
responsibility there, bro. That's the responsibility.
But this is where Allah's guided me to come home. This is where I come home from, Medusa Mosque. And this is where Allah's guided me from. So from Rana, the black brother inside the football thing, my son playing football, this is all Allah's plan. He's the best of planners.
Yeah, of course, Allah said that in the Quran that وَمَكَرُوا like people plan, but He's the best of planners. You know, whether it's bad people, good people, whatever it is, He's the one that guides. He's the one that sees everything, future, past, wherever it is. But since you've become Muslim now, what is it about Islam that obviously I can see you're a person who at least is conscious enough to think about God, like you just said. You're driving, you're sitting down, you're laying down, you're conversating, or you're thinking of God in ways, but. What is it about Islam that makes you like it? Is it the Salah? Is it maybe you say you don't really read? Is it the listening to stories of the prophets? What is it? Because a lot of people say, they become Muslims, but what keeps you a Muslim?
What keeps you a Muslim? Think of the bad things I've done, and now I'm doing good now. Think of all my bad in my life, and now I come home to Islam, I'm getting guidance from the Lord Himself. And it's really nice to feel the presence of the angels. It's very nice to feel the angels. You might not to see them, but it's to feel them. I'm not saying every mosque I don't feel the angels, but I'm not saying I don't know. I don't read the Quran, I don't know. Some mosques has more angels, some mosques have less. Some mosques might have bigger angels, some might have small angels. I don't know if that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong, my brother. Yeah,
he's the chef.
Yeah. So I go to certain mosques.
The host.
Yeah?
You ask questions.
So some mosques you go to, I don't know, but there might be bigger angels, there might be small angels. I don't know. But I feel bigger angels and small angels when I go to different mosques. Certain mosques.
How do you explain that to someone who doesn't understand it? Are you talking about it in a visionary way, or are you talking about there's a sense of feeling?
I can feel it. I can feel it.
Okay.
I can feel it.
But you're right, actually. Angels are around us.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if they're big or small. I don't know if they're big or small.
Look,
I don't know.
In terms of even to the extent, yeah, it's like in the Quran, there's an angel on your right side, your left-hand side, in front of you, behind you.
Yeah.
So many statements of Prophet Muhammad, a hadith that you can't allude to, mention these things. I was thinking about your machete.
Yeah.
Actually, that's in your head. That's either your brain damage or you're dead.
Yeah.
You survived it.
Yeah.
You grabbed the machete.
Yeah.
That could have kind of touched a nerve.
Yeah.
Could have lost your hand, your arm.
Yeah.
All of that, Allah sometimes, even through angels,
Yeah.
Because angels are Allah's soldiers.
Yeah.
Allah just commands them to do what they need to do, and they do it. But many times angels are there to kind of through Allah's, guidance to protect you, to help you, to support you.
So
Yeah, so, all of that is, yeah.
Yeah, what you said is what, is 100%. What you said to me, I just remembered something again now. As you said about the machete attack, the doctor said if the machete went 3 centimeters up, I would have been dead.
3 centimeters up?
Up, yeah, just on the temple, I would have been dead. But subhanAllah, alhamdulillah, it wasn't my time. So...
And also, when somebody's hitting you there, bro, that's the key.
You still die. Don't forget machete. If someone hits you here, you die anyway. So alhamdulillah, I didn't, I'm still here. So when I say to myself, and I ask, you just said about Islam, I look back at how Allah's guided me, how Allah saved me. Allah's always been there for me. What Allah's done for me. Why do I deserve this? What have I ever done for Allah to deserve Allah to protect me like this? I know now. Now I do know. I'm not know everything, but I do understand now. Because when I talk to my Lord talks back to me. So when I told you about the hearing things, I used to think I was mad. And then when I went with my partner said, she'd tell you straight. So this is after machete attack. So I meet her 2 years later, 3 years later. And the noise come back again. And this time someone's come into my house and put something into the house. I'm not going to say what it is. Someone put something into the house. And first, one of my friends caused a problem with Jay. And when I said Jay, after he didn't help me with Charlie, I still helped him. He didn't help him. So he had a big problem. He nearly killed someone in London. And this person he nearly killed, his uncles, is one of the fierce Vietnamese gangs in London. I was one of them. There's 3 of them, but he's one of them. And he lives in East London somewhere. So anyway, he's ran up to Newcastle and they put 100,000 on his life and then put 150,000 on his life. So I had to someone had to drop something down to protect his life. So anyway, that thing was there. And after the problem was resolved, he's gone back to London. And a friend of mine phoned me one day and he said, "Oh yeah, so and so." And I said, "Yeah, you can, whatever you want. It's not mine to take it anyway." So he's come down there and took it away, and it was in the train box. It was so, So anyway, he took it away. 2 days later, the police come to my house and knocked the door and said, arrested me on suspicion of arson. And I didn't know what arson meant at the time because my English is bad. So I said, "What's arson?" I don't support no Arsenal football team. So he goes, no, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. The restaurant blew up. A restaurant blew up? For real? So yeah, we're arresting you on that. So cut long story short, they put me in the police station, they put me for 4 hours. And he said, we asked you start asking me about this restaurant, South Street, was you here at a certain time? So no, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, the restaurant blew up. So I just turned around to the police officer and I said to him, "Officer, you know what I'm about already. You arrested me, sure, you know what I'm about already. You know what I'm about. So if I get done for something I didn't do, your family will go somewhere. They will go missing. So that's what I got to say to you." And this cop goes, "You threatening me?" I goes, I'm telling you, son. That's what I'm going to say to you. If I'm getting arrested for something I didn't do, I will do time for something I did do. If I go to prison for a crime I did, I won't mind doing time for it. But setting me up, it ain't going to work. So anyway, 4 hours later, they let me out. So I come back home now, and boom, what did I see in the house? They removed the floorboard in one side, and they removed the kitchen unit in one side. And there's only 2 things that in those 2 cupboards, where they removed. They didn't come for no arsoning. That was just an excuse to come to get those the things that was there.
Okay, they arrested you and took
Yeah.
things from.
So they wanted 4 hours to search the house to find something there, which they didn't find that. So they went to my missus' house. That's why my parents didn't like it. So anyway, upon Allah saved me again. See, I said to
They
you,
took what they needed to take.
they didn't take nothing
They
because
didn't
nothing was there.
Okay.
It was gone.
Mm.
Whoever it is went missing,
Mm.
So it is like they know what I'm talking about. It's like I say to you, when people like in life, Allah's always watching over us. And now, as I keep talking to Allah more, Allah answers me more. This is humble. And man, thank you for this, what you give me here. I do my prayers. Yeah, I always, I've tried even when I'm driving here, I do 4 or 5 sets every time I drive, even in the car, I do it.
Mm.
I drove my daughter to school today. I had this in my hand and I listen to hadith and I keep subhanallah. She got to school, no argument, no road rage, no nothing. Allah even left the door open for me, roads open, coming in and out with no problem. I went in, no one beeping me. Subhanallah. I swear Allah just let me in, out, not beep, not one point. My daughter tell you, it's not even that daddy, no argument, no shouting to her. Yeah, daddy's good.
It's a good day.
Home again, same thing again. Inshallah, nothing. No problem, So I say to people like this, getting back to that one with that situation with that police come there, they didn't find nothing. So they said, we're going to release you on something and come back for thingy, whatever it is. I can't remember. They're rubbish. They're just rubbish, gibberish stuff to me anyway. But the police needs to know one thing about me. When Allah created this soul, he created it and he's going to make me perfect it. First thing first, I don't fear death. I don't fear prison. And I don't fear the police. So I always say to people, what did these 3 things do? You know what? I pull the police out. Forget about them. I ain't going to care about them anyway. Just call it death and prison. But now I fear one. I fear my Lord, the one true Lord. Because one day I will have to face my Lord. I have to face Allah. So I fear my Lord.
Mm.
But I always say to people like this, I respect and love my Lord more than I fear him. It's not I don't fear my Lord, but I love him and respect him more than I fear him.
Musa, that's the biggest rehab.
Yeah.
For anyone.
Yeah.
The fear of Allah and accountability to Allah, you can stop anything.
Yes, 100%.
Everything else is a minor thing.
Mm.
Yeah, but having that consciousness of, look, I've got to account to my Lord on the day of judgment.
Yes.
For everything. Yeah, that can change a person.
When I say to myself, I'm like a fearless person to start with. So I say to people, that makes me the most dangerous person on this, one of the most dangerous person on this earth, because you don't fear death, you don't fear prison. What does you fear? Makes you a very dangerous man. And I have some of my brothers in prison for 37 years, 16-year minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Muslim brother man's coming. He's coming out soon. He's done 12. He's coming out soon. I'll bring him here. Alhamdulillah. And this brother's very good brother, inshallah. And so my journey in Islam, the way I look at this, I love and respect my Lord. And I do fear my Lord, but I love him and love and respect him more than I fear him. I do fear him, but I don't fear hellfire.
Your love overweighs your fear.
Yes. So I love him and I respect him more. Because when I go in a shop and I do something wrong, I hurt someone, I show disrespect to my Lord. I would never disrespect my Lord. My Lord saved me and my Lord watched over me, teach me. Yeah. So how can I disrespect my Lord? I can't. So when I'm about to do something wrong, one of the brothers damaged my car, my Mercedes, only about a couple of weeks ago. To put it up, then I see in the video he's done it. You used to get angry. He's a Muslim brother. So subhanAllah, Allah put this test for me again. So I got angry that day. But you know what? When I got angry, I eventually got angry with myself because now I've let my Lord down. I let my Lord down by getting angry. So I cried to my Lord. I said, I don't even really cry when my friend passed away. I'm not lying to you. I know it's their time, it's their time. I accept that. But I do not accept myself, let my Lord down. I do not accept that. So this is the difference between the connection with me and my Allah.
MashaAllah.
And our Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, our Prophet as well. Our Prophet, listening to his story puts tears in my eyes.
Alhamdulillah.
My son said to me one day, he's only 8 years old, he said to me, Dad, when I get to Jannah one day, I want to go meet all the prophets.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. He said that to me, and I'm like, oh my God. I never thought about that, son. You beat me to it. I just think I'm meeting Allah.
Yeah.
I never think I'm a prophet. But I love all my prophets. I love all our prophets. Even the prophets I don't know names of, I love all our prophets. So it's a peace and blessing to all our prophets. Yeah. So I don't know our prophets' name. I've only been in Islam for 8 months. I don't know how to read. So I only know what people tell me and what Allah shows me. So when I go on TikTok videos, I go onto YouTube, signs who will come and I'll read. Like hadith. That's why hadith the other day I said to you, Hisham, what's hadith? And don't want it. And I said, I need to meet this scholar. I need to meet him because this is a sign. And here's the hadith. I didn't understand what it meant. I didn't understand what he's talking about. But it stuck to me. And then my brother Hisham, what did you say to me in the recording?
What was the hadith? Which hadith was it? What was the statement?
Hisham?
It was a dua.
Dua,
Supplication.
sorry. Yeah.
What one was it?
Which one is it?
If you're basically
You must want it.
Say it in Arabic.
Arabic, Arabic.
الإنسان لازم يكون رحمة. Someone has to be merciful. If you're merciful, Allah is more merciful.
ارحموا من مثل الأرض يرحمكم استوى.
Allah is the giver. If you're kind, Allah is the kindest. Continue so on.
It's about mercy.
Yeah, so yeah,
If
that
you're merciful.
Yeah.
What could you that you
But
did,
you- yeah.
Allah will give you.
but do you not see where I'm coming from? I don't even understand it. But I listen to it all day.
Okay.
Yeah, I drove my daughter to school today, 1 hour, and I drove 1 hour, I listened to it all the way through and all the way back home. It stuck to me now. And I don't even understand what it means in it.
Musa, just, what message would you give to the Chinese and the Vietnamese community about Islam? What would you say?
I'll say to the Chinese and the Vietnamese, is we're all Muslims. When the kings came in to rule the country, wherever they was ruling, they didn't want to know you. There's only one true God, and one true king. Now, a king does not need a queen to make his decision, and Allah is that king. So on this earth, there's no king. There is no king. There's no rulers on this earth. There's only one ruler and one king, and he's up in Jannah. It's our Lord, Allah. So all the Chinese and Vietnamese people need to understand, our religion bases on 100 gods, which there's no such thing as 100 gods. There's not 100 creators. I don't know 100%, but I know there's no such thing as 100 gods. And stop believing in all these gods. I'll come from a Chinese background. I'm Buddhist. My mom's Buddhist. I went to the Buddhist temple. And the way the Buddhists pray, and the way they bow their head to the floor, everything, it's the same we bow to Allah. SubhanAllah, it's always the same. How we hold our hands when we're doing our prayers. The Chinese do this as well. You look at the whole Chong Kung Fu, you watch it, they do this.
Yeah, they do.
When they hold instant, they don't do this. Yeah, they don't do this. Not the left hand. It's always the right hand over the left. So do you see the symbol? So I say to people, and look at the way I dress as Muslims. Old Chinese people wear like this for over 1,000 years. So where does it take us?
There's a verse in the Quran, isn't it? Allah says, to every nation, we send a prophet.
You see?
Yeah, so
I think Buddhism, I think he might be a prophet. I'm not sure. I'm not going to hold up and say he is, but he's more likely to be a prophet. Cannot be God, but the Chinese believe that he's God. There's no such thing. He's a prince. So the story, I'm not exactly following, but he's supposed to be some kind of prince that gave all his wealth away, went into a cave and stayed there for 100 days and meditated on all the water, and he came out fresh and could be a prophet.
If he's a human being, he's a human being.
That's it.
If you
But, yeah.
pooed, slept,
Yeah.
died,
Yeah.
then you're a human
You're a
being.
human being, yeah. God,
Regardless of how smart, how
So,
nice you was.
That's 100%. What you said is right. You see what you just said about the
every nation.
things of Chinese people. People need to understand. If you want to see a true religion, I cannot read and write. I never chose to believe in God. I never chose any of this. God chose me to come home. And so upon Allah, alhamdulillah, Allah saved my life, looked after my life, and now eventually he's brought me home. He's getting me ready for whatever he's getting me ready for. I don't know. I don't know what Allah's getting me ready for. I'm not going to go against his plan, but I said his plan's on that piece of paper. And I have to do good.
No,
But,
you seem, just listening to you, obviously, we've gone from many different topics, but the overarching thing that comes out of your mouth regularly is, I speak to Allah, I'm connected to Allah. And that alone is a very good sign, Akhi.
Yeah.
That you're a person who's conscious. Of course, you're going to make mistakes. You're still going to get angry. These things are going to happen. That's just human beings. No one's ever going to be perfect. But to be conscious of a creator. And like you said, you know, I don't know what scholar I was listening to, but he was talking about basically about atheism and all of this. And he said, look, if I believe an atheist and I believe there's no hereafter, I haven't lost anything because I was still a good person. I still had wives. I still had kids. I still made money. I still lived a good life. I might not have gambled. I might not have killed. I might not have done other stuff, but I still lived a good life. But if there is a hereafter, if there is a hereafter and there's something called paradise and there's something called hellfire, then you're the one that's the loser.
Yes, 100%.
Does that make sense now?
Makes a lot of
So
sense.
all of us, we're living the same life.
Yeah.
We're all trying to be good people. We're all trying to do all of this stuff. Some of us are just doing it for the purpose of a creator that we believe has created us. And that's the path that you've come on now. And the fact that you're speaking about Allah, the fact that you're talking about, you know, you're seeing angels and you're thinking about all these things, these are all good signs, my bro. Do you know what I mean? I hope Allah keeps you on it. But just to finalize, just because we're going to run out of time, you've been Muslim, you know, 8 months, 9 months. You've got obviously a high level of experience, even though a lot of it might be negative, a lot of it might be positives. What would be maybe the one thing that you would advise people, and anyone watching?
Well, my most important is, do not lose hope in God. Make sure you always speak to Allah. For the women, the sisters, if you have a relationship problem, a breakdown problem, don't run to other men to talk to, run to Allah. Speak to Allah, pick up the Quran and read the Quran. That's to the women. To the brothers out there, think about all the bad things and negative things you can do. Stop killing each other, fighting each other, making trouble for each other, because we're all brothers and sisters. We're all brothers in one way or the other. So I've been through that gang life. I've hurt my own people. So if you say to me, do I regret it? Yes, I do. Come home to Islam. If you're not home in Islam, come take a read of the Quran and make your own decision. Because when you listen to our Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, it will only shine down you directly one way. You're not blind for your eyes, you're blind for your heart. Open your heart and you'll find Islam, you'll find home.
Very good statement.
So I say to people like this, the main last bigger things I'm going to have to say to you guys here before we go. Us as human beings, I choose to worship the creator and not the traitor. That's my biggest saying I would say to people. God created us, so we worship him. Those who worship the traitor, the devil, the shaitan, you're lost. You're totally lost, because I tell you, he's not going to do nothing for you, but he's going to take you down to hellfire. And Allah wants the best for every one of his creation, and Allah never stopped loving any of us. No matter how much I've done wrong, how much I've done bad, but Allah sent me the angel, and I asked Allah, why does Allah choose me? Why does he give me so many chances? I asked why and why. And today, my answer's almost coming. With that, I can say with the machete chop I was saying to you before, the noise I thought I'd say about that. That happened, the first time I heard the noise was when I was about 17, I think, 17, 18. Maybe, I can't remember exactly the timeline. But I went to the mosque in Sidcup between 9 and 11 weeks ago, and I had my answer from Allah. When my head was on the floor bowing and I was praying to Allah, that same sound was all coming behind me when all the brothers are praying. That was the exact noise I heard. So to me, personally, I think the angels were praying for me when this happened to me. Same as when the other thing was put in the house, and please come in the house and try to set me up. Same again. You know, Allah's put that, you know, the angels were praying for me again. So subhanAllah, so I must have some good in me. I don't know what it is. But I've done a lot of bad things in my life, but I have never had any bad intentions. So everything I've done to people in life, it was not because I wanted to. I had no choice at the time, but now I do have a choice, because I'm home, back home in Islam.
You know better.
I know better. I'm a home in Islam, and every time when I do something wrong, I have to thank my Lord. I have to fear my Lord, respect my Lord, and love my Lord, and show my Lord that I can do better. And with my Lord, I get strength. And I've always asked Allah for guidance, and Allah's never let me down. And remember, Allah will never let any of us down. But you must remember one thing: never never, ever lose faith in God. Never.
No, mashallah,
that's
bro.
what-
I
yeah.
think we'll finish on that one.
Yeah.
Since you started with that point, that you don't lose hope
No.
in the Creator, no matter what you do in life. And I think that's a key thing to remember, because many of us do lose faith. It could
Yes.
be, you know, your parent dies. It could be your business goes down the drain. It could be, you know, like what's happening in Gaza, and, you know, 30, 40, 50,000 people are dying around you.
Yeah.
It's easy to lose faith. But the fact that those type of people are keeping faith has turned so many people today Muslim.
Yes.
Just the fact that they're dying and they're still saying, you know, to Allah we came and to Allah we return, people are becoming Muslim. So
yeah.
having hope is a very important thing. Jazakumullah khair for coming.
Yeah.
You know, I hope that Allah keeps you on your path,
Yeah.
increases you in knowledge, increases your family in, you know, in beneficial stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll speak inshallah wa jazakumullah khair. And we'll see you all in the next one. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.